Hello. I am back at it with another collective pull for the Virgo full moon taking place Saturday, February 24th. So let's get into it. If you like my interpretation of these cards, if you like this reading, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my Instagram, etc., etc. I post updates about my tarot readings, and also about any artistic things that I've got going on, poetry readings, if I'm auctioning off prints or anything like that. So if you want to stay in the loop, that is the way to do it. All right, so got all the cards nice and ready to go. All right, here we go. So, for the shadow card of the deck, it is Strength. The anchor is the Moon. Compass is the Five of Swords, again. What to release, Three of Pentacles. I always put this card in reverse, whether it's upright or reverse. I interpret it as a reversal of the energy. Where the collective is at currently, pulled the King of Cups and the Empress. And where the collective is being led is the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands. And what is coming towards us collectively, the Knight of Pentacles. All right, let's get into this. Strength being the shadow card of this deck, strength is the underbelly, right? This is a card not about our outward force in the world, not about our ability to manifest or to make things happen, but it's about our ability to be so in tune with who we are, so grounded, that we can exercise a quiet influence over the world around us, right? We can just exert our energy in a very unassuming way over any external circumstances. It's a card about being able to sort of relate to the wildness, the unpredictability of the world with a grace, with an acceptance, right? You don't need to change the circumstances. You just need to be connected to yourself in order to more fully navigate those circumstances. So this being the underlying energy of this card, I do feel there is a certain reflectiveness happening with this Virgo full moon. People are starting to realize that they need to be moving into deeper connection with themselves. I think full moons always present us with that time to go inward, to shine that inner light on what isn't in alignment with us, what isn't working with us. And this full moon is absolutely no different. It's not about manifestations. It's not about exerting control over our external circumstances. It's about exerting control over ourselves, our own fears, our own anxiety, our own, limitations. It's about the relationship that we have with those parts of ourselves, which helps us to feel more deeply connected and more ready to embrace the challenges of the world. The anchor being the moon. Yeah, absolutely. This makes a ton of sense. I'm recording this Friday the 23rd. And so right now there's a stellium of planets in both Aquarius and Pisces. And Chiron is in Aries. I'm going to talk about that at the bottom cards right here. The compass and the anchor card, or excuse me, I'll stay anchor and compass because that's the way I'm gonna read these cards. The anchor and the compass card for me are cards of alignment. The anchor card is about grounding and getting centered in a sense of alignment within ourselves, right? So it's about a point of return, right? How we sort of center and ground ourselves in that internal sense of alignment. The Five of Swords, the compass card is about how we move through the world in alignment with that sense of grounding. So these two cards are about how we stay aligned. The moon, of course, on a full moon card, like I just said with this strength card, and the interesting thing, there's a full moon on the strength card as well. Turning inward, turning our gaze inward, spending time with ourselves, spending time with our thoughts, spending time with just those parts of ourselves that we leave untouched or uninterrogated, turning the attention inward. No focus on productivity, no focus on manifestations, right? Alignment occurs when we know ourselves. I am so annoyed at my neighbors right now. I'm gonna go shut this door. Hold on just a second. I've literally been preparing to record this video for like 2 hours, and then right as I record it, they start doing this shit. But that's the way that it works, isn't it? So yes, the moon card being our anchor card on this Virgo full moon, just tune into all the stuff that's going on within you, all the things that you feel called to do. Again, this stellium in Pisces and Aquarius, it could have you feeling a little dreamy. It could have you feeling like you want to create something. But again, the biggest part of creating anything is just process. So rather than focusing on finishing a project or creating something tangible to bring into the world, focus on the process that it takes to do those things. If you have an idea, sit with that idea, nurture that idea, research that idea, create drafts and all of that stuff, listen to good music, go out in the world, spend time in the sunshine or in the rain, put your hands in some dirt, put your feet in some dirt, just do things that help you to be in that energy without necessarily thinking so much about what it is you need to produce or give to the world. And again, the Five of Swords came up again as our compass, and I'll say it again, you guys. Failure. So important. It's so important to know how to fail. It's so important to accept failure. It's so important to define for ourselves what success is, and to define for ourselves what is meaningful to us. Whether that means accepting failure in the way that a project didn't turn out to the reception that we wanted, or whether we got a lot of reception for our project but we just in the end didn't feel as connected to that finished product as we did while we were in that state of process, or what have you. This Virgo full moon, man, there's something here about our dreams, man. There's something here about like our highest ideals, like the way that this Virgo full moon is happening with this, like the stellium in Pisces, the stellium in Aquarius, and that Chiron in fucking Aries, man. There's something about shining a light on the hopes, the dreams, the highest ideals that we have for the world, for ourselves. So it's like, what do I want to create? What is the highest way that can be manifested into the world? What's the best possible way that what I want to create is going to be brought into the world? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And then that Chiron and Aries energy, man, like that is something that's like Aries. When I think about Aries in its purest form, Aries is about like what it means to be a force of love in the world when you're like deeply in alignment. It's like Aries, there's this determination, this drive, and this ambition that is like rooted in this deeply expressive love for the world. And so there's something about Aries that's like, yeah, what's the highest expression of my love in this world, and how do I live that? How do I bring it into the interactions and the relationships that I have with other people? But in that wounded healer, like in the planet of the wounded healer, man, it's like, yes, how do I be that expression of love in the world? But also, like, how do I fail to be that expression? When does my ambition cause me to override boundaries, cause me to ignore how other people feel or what other people are thinking? When does it cause me to take credit for other people's ideas? When does it cause me to draw too much attention on myself singularly, right? When does the force of my love focus mostly on me and less on the people around me? When does the force of my love become hindered by ambition, really, is what Chiron and Aries says to me. And so all of those planets, man, coming together in this Virgo full moon, again, what to release is the Three of Pentacles reverse. Release the idea that you're in this by yourself. Release the idea that you need to have the answers by yourself. Release the idea that when you hear someone else's creative ideas and you like them, release the idea that you need to do something similar to what is being done. Okay? Release the idea that when you like something, that means you should make something like that. That's when ego and ambition are overriding our divine spark. It's overriding our ability to be a force of love in the world. If someone's work is doing something that you recognize is fantastic and empowering and beautiful, and your instinct is to like take part of that for yourself, wrong. Misuse of love in the world. A misuse. You're not in this alone. You can let other people be great. You can let other people have their ideas. You can learn how to really collaborate, right? Learn how to fucking collaborate. You don't need to be the only person doing everything all the time, okay? It doesn't all need to be coming from you. Why, when you see a great idea and recognize it as amazing, do you think that for some reason it would be better if it came from you? That's wrong. Wrong. Not in alignment. Okay? That's a problem with ego. Don't do that. Release that. Release the inability to see other people succeed. Okay? Yeah, I just feel like, and that's something here, like this being like the failure. Like, here's the thing. People don't like collaborating with other people because people fail us. Community fails us. And it hurts. It hurts to have your trust and your faith put into someone or something and it doesn't turn out the way that you expected. That fucking hurts. Hurts to have your hopes dashed. Hurts. It sucks. But it's the only way we can move forward. It's the only way we can build things that last. It's the only way that we can make meaningful contributions to the world and our hopes for the future. Get out of that individualist mindset. Again, Aquarius, man. The stellium in Aquarius, it's like it's the humanist, but it's also the individual to a fault. Like coldness to a fault. Technology, again, like Aquarius rules technology too. So it's like, think about the internet, man. And think about how the internet has erased people from their ideas. Ideas disseminate without any attachment to their creator or the intentions of that creator. They disseminate, and then everybody just takes credit for them. It's like people have lost their creative their creative ideas, their individuality to the world of the internet, because everything is ubiquitous, everything's an echo chamber, everything belongs to everybody, everything's a part of the collective. But that's not true. Give people credit for their ideas, for their originality, right? Give people credit. Recognize when you're coming across something that's amazing and unique. Recognize it, man, and appreciate it for what it gives to humanity. Don't look at it with envy or thinking about how you can do XYZ. It's not about you, right? We're all in this shit together, and when you see something that's doing, like, creatively, musically, whatever, like if you work a teaching job and you recognize there's a teacher there that's doing something fucking fabulous, right? Like, give it credit, like give them credit, let them know you see them, because anytime someone's doing something that's like really aligned and like purposeful and is like coming from that heart-centered place, being a force of love in the world, it helps to raise the consciousness of the people who are engaging with them and their work. So do not covet it. Give it its proper praise and let it shape you so that you can connect to your work and your purpose the way that you are meant to, so that you can help to raise the consciousness. But I feel like ownership of ideas, man, this is coming up. It's coming up for me when I see this Three of Pentacles reverse. It's like everyone competing to be the first and the only. That's not how we do this. Virgo full moon is shining a light on that, right? The Virgo full moon to me is like, are you strong enough to let other people shine? Does it make you feel threatened, or does it make you feel excited? You know? You see someone shine, and does it make you want to dance? Or does it make you want to cry in a bad way, in like a woe is me kind of way? Not like cry like, oh my God, this is so cool and amazing. And where we're at collectively, again, I feel like this is kind of where everyone's coming from right now. Maybe we're all feeling the same thing. The Empress and the King of Cups. This is like, to me, a really beautiful balance of masculine and feminine energy. There's a sort of sensitivity. There's a sort of governance of the heart. And also the King of Cups to me represents like a spiritual warrior. It represents somebody who's come through the fire of spiritual trials and is ready to stand up for truth. Is ready to just cut through the bullshit with love, though. With love and with compassion. They're just like, I'm not here for the fuck shit. Sorry. I'm not here for the fuck shit. I came here to, I'm gonna touch your third eye like that and wake you up, right? And the Empress, she's all about abundance, creativity, the birthing of ideas and projects, possibility, and really about generosity. So again, like I said, an inability to acknowledge when other people have good ideas, and like to let those ideas be separate from you and your own projects, like to not have to absorb everything in a way that like blurs the boundaries of like creative and intellectual property, right? There's something here about these two cards being in the collective energy. And again, what I said about like just leaning into process. Leaning into process and recognizing that you're really not in competition. You're not in competition with other creatives unless you're like an idea thief. Then you are in competition because you've got to get the idea out first so that nobody can question if you're a thief, right? Then you are in a competitive mind state. But you don't need to be at all. There's something unique waiting for you. There's a project that is is coming for you if you can sit in the shadows, if you can let the moon shine her light on those dark corners of yourself, if you can lean into the failures, right? Lean into the limitations, lean into the losses, and find, you know, the fertile soil beneath the destruction, right? There's something beautiful waiting for you if you can recognize the beauty of those around you, those you've been put into community with, if you can recognize the beauty and the value of their ideas, if you can encourage them, if you can really see the way that they are helping to raise the vibration, the way that they're helping to impact the world with a true appreciation, with a true love, and a true centeredness of being, right? There's an idea that's coming for you, a project, a motivation, a belief, a spiritual belief, an evolution of your spiritual beliefs that's coming for you. Something to bring you in greater alignment, something to help you recognize that creativity, like the earth, like water, is generous, abundant, generous, life-giving, right? And so it's not just about you, but there is something waiting for you. You don't have to compete for it, right? If you work together with people, you can actually like produce a lot of honey, and honey is healing. Honey is medicine. So like you're a part of it. You know. You're a part of the web. You're a part of the honeycomb. You're a part of the hive. You know, where we're being led, the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands, man, nostalgia and victory, childhood and homecoming. A homecoming, a returning home. Again, I feel like this Virgo full moon is really leading us into our connection with process and into our connection to the root of our creativity, the root of why we create certain things, the root of like, yeah, man, again, I'm thinking of like that Pisces stellium, the Virgo full moon, the Aquarius stellium, our highest ideals, our highest hopes and dreams. Like, if we could create something boundless and healing and medicinal, what would it look like? I feel like that's where we're being led, man. And we just have to sink into that space of process, man. The Six of Cups, for me, and again, like this double six energy too. Six is like a card. It's a card of like balancing like our spiritual and material concerns. It's a card of knowing like when our external circumstances are like, we're using our external circumstances, however bad, however shitty, however good they are, to distract us from the internal work that needs to be done, to distract us from like a true connection to God, to spirit, to our ancestors, to our creative spark. And so the six is here, like this is what's coming, or excuse me, this is where we are moving towards. I just feel like the shedding of falsehoods, and there's something here too about like the compass being the Five of Swords and being about failure. It's like that Chiron and Aries can be so arrogant. It's like when ambition becomes arrogant, when ambition becomes like, I deserve this, right? This is for me. And it's like the compass being like, let yourself lose the battle to that. Let yourself, like, you know, you don't have to fight so hard. You know what I'm saying? There's something about that disarming nature of like looking at the loss of things with like a stunning clarity. It's like you look at the battlefield and you're like, nobody had to die here. And so there's this like, there's a sense of regret. It's like, it doesn't matter which side won. It was a failure because we lost something essential in the process. So there was no winner. And so this being the compass and where we're moving towards being the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands, this is really about like victorious homecomings, return to the self, return to happiness, happy core memories, happy childhood memories, and that sort of thing. But again, in relation to like creativity and process, and this being where we're being led, I really do feel like there's something here about, again, being a force of love in the world and connecting with what makes us feel like a force of love in the world, really meaningfully connecting with that. And so there's a sense of like, the Six of Cups definitely represents childhood. There could be inner child stuff going on with this full moon. People could be coming into some inner child work, or they could be realizing that their inner child has like a key piece of wisdom for them regarding their creativity, regarding some project that they're thinking about. They could also, I mean, I feel like also it could be like us remembering what it was like to be a child, and like to be really like to feel genuine joy for like our friends' wins, right? Like, do you remember when you're like your friend won an award at school and you would feel so proud of them and so happy for them that you would like jump out of your seat applauding them, like you wanted to scream at the top of your lungs because you felt so much joy for their success. You felt so, it just filled you up to see them win. I feel like there's something about that, moving towards that place again where like we don't feel like we're competition with each other. We don't feel like I have to be one of one. We don't feel that pressure. We just feel like it feels good to do things that feel good. It feels good to see people who are in alignment get their flowers, you know? And it feels good to be someone who is in alignment getting their own flowers. Like the Six of Wands is definitely about achieving recognition. It's about victory. And it is about homecoming. I feel like people could be traveling again back home or to a place that feels like home. There could be an urge to create a greater sense of home, whether that's like in your physical dwelling, or if it's like, you know, you're a part of a community space and you want that space to feel more like a home for all the people who go there, right? How do you contribute to that space? What needs to happen to make that space become what it needs to become? And again, like, there's something about the Six of Cups and the Empress that's like generosity, man. Generosity of spirit, generosity of love, being a force of love in the world. And what is coming towards us is the Knight of Pentacles. This is like slow and steady progress and staying committed to the goal. If our failures are our compass, then we know whatever it is we're working towards, whatever it is we're moving towards, wherever it is we are being led, we are in alignment if we do not see immediate success. You are in alignment with your goals, with your passion, with your God-given purpose if you do not see immediate success for your work. If God says that you need to dig into that discipline, that he wants to see your commitment, right? And he places those obstacles before you, you can best believe that is a sign of alignment, man. If our failures are our compass, if our failures reveal to us that we are in alignment, absolutely, this energy comes towards us. Through each failure, we get the opportunity to connect more deeply with why we're doing something. Again, like I said with the Chiron and Aries, man, connecting with our why, connecting with our intentions. If each failure presents the opportunity to connect more deeply with our creativity, with process, then we will have to ask ourselves some tough questions under the light of the full moon. Under the light of the full moon, we will have to ask ourselves some questions about why we're doing certain things. And we'll have to get real, right? We'll have to get real. We'll have to get real about where we're giving credit. We'll have to get real about where we sacrifice, you know, our love in the world for our own selfish gains, right? We'll have to get real about the ways that we've allowed the lies of the world, of social media, of, you know, manufactured artificial lack to dictate to us how we move in the world. There's more than enough for all of us to eat, okay? There is more than enough for each and every single one of us to follow our divine spark and our divine purpose, and to see success, to see stability, to see joy, okay? There's more than enough. You're not in competition with anyone, okay? The plan that was put over your life, that was placed in that tiny seed of you, which is divinity, right? The plan that was placed there, it's taking root, it's flowering, it's blooming, it's doing its thing, and it does so independently of all of the beautiful blooms that happen around you. You are a rose in a garden. You're performing a specific function. It's necessary to the ecosystem of that garden. But if you overhear a rose and you're pissed off because you're trying to be a daisy, and you overhear sending hate to the daisy, sending poison out to the daisies, well, then that means that the world just lost the rose and the daisy. You know what I'm saying? We're not in competition. Release this. And I'm really focusing heavily on the release because this is a full moon. Release it. And I mean, like, before you get to a point of releasing, like, connect with that sense of, if you really are feeling envy or feeling like you're in competition with people, feel that shit. Feel it. Get to the root of it. Get to the core of where that feeling stems from, and then release it, right? Then cut ties with it. Then you can fully tap in to your own divine spark. You can fully connect to process. But like I said, man, if failures are the compass, okay? If the failures are the compass, if our failures are how we move through the world, knowing we're in alignment, man, woo, then we know that this energy is being asked of us. We are going to run into the opportunity to step into this Knight of Pentacles energy many times, to remain committed and unwavering in our belief in ourselves and our belief in process, right? And feel the joy, man. Believe in your own timing, right? Believe in the power of process. Believe in the sanctity of process. There's something holy about the steps, the nudges, the small, like, alterations that happen in the creative process, so that we even are, like, physically ready to make something, like, worth giving the world. There's something holy about those. So lean into process with joy, and know that your timing is your timing and yours alone. You're not in competition with anybody else. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if the person to the left has 47 awards and accolades, and the person to the right is just starting their come up, and everybody looks like they're blooming ahead of you, right? You're blooming in your own time. Connects to the process and the joy of being in the present moment, the joy of being actively shaped so that you are ready to make what you need to make, okay? Connect with the joy of that, and you will achieve great things. But for this Virgo full moon, man, I see a lot of beautiful energy here, a lot of powerful things which can be released. Connecting with the inner child will also help us to release some of these things as well, because children are so process oriented. It's all about the present moment, you know. So do anything that helps you to connect with your inner child. It's different for everybody, and again, remain committed to process, and remember that you are a force of love in this world. If you're an artist, if you're a teacher, if you're a healer, if you're an empath, you know, be a force of love in this world. You will disrupt, you know, the paradigm. You'll disrupt the pain and the suffering when you choose to be a force of love in this world. All right. So have a very blessed Virgo full moon. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Instagram. And check out my website, and I will be back in a couple more weeks for the Pisces new moon. Yes, for the Pisces new moon.